Hi, I'm Vincent Scully and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to look at how to set up a product in Kartra. For those of you who don't know me, I am a Kartra top level expert, also a founding member of the Kartra Certified Partner Program. All that basically means is I live, sleep, eat and breathe Kartra. So I spend most of my days working in the Kartra system, and these tutorials are designed to hopefully help you understand how to get the most from Kartra and to answer some of the most common questions. Here we are in the expert marketplace. As you can see, that is me, one of 9 top level experts. So that's just to show you that it is actually legit. So the purpose of this video is product setup. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up a product. So here we select add a product, and we have a couple of different choices after we give a name. So I'm just going to call this product test. We have a main product and then we have an upsell and a downsell. So what is the difference? So the main product is just that. It is the main product in this part of the funnel. Now you may have at a later point or already in your plans an upsell or a downsell, and you want to actually observe them as one whole funnel. So in theory, you could have a upsell product or a downsell product that's actually just a separate product. But that's not going to report on the performance of your actual funnel. That's going to report on the individual product sales. So if you want to have a funnel that has upsells and downsells, then what you need to do is include it within the product setup. So this is the main product setup, and we're going to have a look at that right now. So we select main product, and then we click on next. The next options that we're going to be presented with are to add a graphic and some general information, as well as our payment information. So the official name. So this is the official name that customers will see. Okay, so I'm going to call it test. Very simple. And if you hover over this little question mark, it tells you what it is, the public name of the product, what other people will see. Okay, fairly straightforward. Next, we've got a description. So you have 40 characters allowed for the product name, the official name, and you then have 80 characters for your description. So I'm just going to put in test product description. And I'll show you where that comes at a later point. If you're going to add a product image, you will add your product image here. Now, be aware that your product image is going to display as a circular image. So when you are creating your product image, maybe set a 500 by 500 or 1000 by 1000, it doesn't really matter the size, but your focus area, you're zoning in on that central area. So you can adjust this if you're familiar with Photoshop or one of the other photo editing tools. You can create your product image and you can adjust it to make sure you get it in the center of that circle. Very important. Next, we have the option of listing it in the marketplace. So this is the marketplace down here in affiliate promos. This is where you can list that as a product that other affiliates will possibly promote on your behalf, and you will make money. You then have your payment gateway. So at the moment we have PayPal and credit card. I'm going to use Stripe and I'm going to use a test account, and we click save. So then we click save on the product details. We move to the second screen. Now this screen is an important screen. We have a number of different items in here that we can use within the product setup. We have price points on the left. So what are price points? So price points are, let me give an example. So we may have a one-time product. Okay, so I'm going to set that this is a one-time product. So test one-time payment. And let's say we are going to charge $100 for this. So now we have one price point set up for one-time payment, and we click save. Okay, now we may want to then have a recurring payment. So one of the great things about recurring payments is long-term customer value. So you build up a monthly residual income coming in until somebody cancels that payment, or it may be in installments, or you may have recurring installments. So actually, before we move off to one-time payment, I want to show you just a couple of other things down here. So we've got initial payment. So this is trials or initial payments followed by a subsequent pricing structure, but be it one-time or recurring. Okay, and then you've got the default price for your product. Okay, so you can set that to be whichever one is your preferred option. But you may want to have an initial payment of $1. And then you may offer a 30-day period or a number of weeks, months, or even years. So you may have a 30-day period that you will charge $1 for to allow a customer to come in and become familiar with your product, with your service, with your business, with you, with your customer service, with everything. And then after 30 days, the remainder of the product will be charged. Okay. You can then do the same with recurring products. Okay. So let's have a look then at a recurring product. So now we've got a recurring where we're going to say we're going to charge this person $20 per month. Yeah. So $20 recurring, monthly recurring. Okay. And then we're going to specify our price. Oh, actually, I put in $10. I beg your pardon. So we'll do 10. And we're going to say that it's monthly, but we have options here of weekly, 2 weeks, monthly, every 2 months, quarterly, yearly, or every 2 years. So we're going to charge this person monthly, and that will go until it is cancelled by the customer. And then we have the initial payment and the default price. So in this case, we're saying we're giving the one-time payment person a trial of $1 for 30 days. And then after that, we take our money. And then with the recurring, we're saying you're going to pay $10 monthly on a recurring basis, and we click save. Next, we have shipping costs. So if it's a digital product, there is no shipping, but if it's a physical product, you may actually want to add in a shipping cost. So now you've got to pick your destinations. So you're looking at really Europe, Asia. At the highest level, if you're in the States, you know, you could say the United States, this is going to be my fee. Everywhere else, you could have a rest of world fee. You could have a fee for Europe, Asia, all of the different continents, or you can start to drill down into particular countries. Okay. And this is entirely up to yourself. But I'm just going to say that in the United States, we're going to add a fee, and that fee is going to be on price point 1 and $10. And price point 2 is going to be $10. Okay, so that's in the case of a physical product. This is how you would configure it. And then you're going to add in a new destination, let's say to Europe, and you're going to add that, and then you're going to say it's $20, and it's $20. So this is how you would start to build out your shipping configuration. Now, when you're doing shipping, please be very careful. This is an area where I've seen many businesses lose money. They miscalculate the shipping, they undercharge on the shipping, and it eats into their profits. It's okay if you've got products that are that have a huge profit margin within it, that you can tolerate that potential loss, but you don't want to do it. It's bad practice. So prior to setting up your product, you should be very clear about your shipping. In this case, let's leave it simple. We're going to look at a digital product. Next, we have sales tax. So sales tax is something, again, we can configure. We're going to look at the sales tax right now. So again, we've North America, Europe, Asia. So you'll start to see, if you're very new to Kartra, it can be a lot going on, but in time you'll start to see there's a commonality. There's a logic that underpins all of Kartra, and it's really, really powerful. So you have North America, Canada, United States, you have Europe, all the major countries of Europe, you have Asia, Australia and Oceania, South America and Africa. So with North America, you can go into the States. So some of my clients are in the United States, and they have to charge a tax in particular states and maybe none in other states. And this will allow you to collect those taxes based upon that particular location. Now, a word to note is when you set up your taxes, it's set. So you don't need to set it for every product. So once you've done your taxes once, it's set within Kartra. So let's just say we're not going to apply any sales tax, but you can see how you configure it. So that we've done our shipping, and our refund policy is next. So if you are offering no refund, 7-day, 14-day, 30-day, 60-day, that can be dependent upon where you are. I'm based in Europe, and here in Ireland, in Europe, we have to offer a minimum of 14 days, a minimum, that a customer can come back and request a refund, and we have no question marks around that. If they say, I'm unhappy, I want a refund, whatever, we have to give them a refund. Depending upon where you're watching from in the world, it may be that you have particular policies that you must abide by. There's also now the other side of it, which you got to look at it from a strategic perspective. If you are selling a product to a customer and you say there's no refund policy, that can ring alarm bells in their mind. They can say, okay, why is this company not offering me a refund policy? Are they getting a lot of refunds? Are they expecting that I'm going to want a refund? And that can cause a question mark in somebody's mind. And when you have a question mark in somebody's mind, it interrupts the buying process. If you offer a 30-day refund, that is a reasonable amount. That's reasonable to say, hey, this company is confident in their product that it will offer me a 30-day refund, and I can bring back the product. I can request a cancellation of the service. I can, whatever it might be, they're giving me 30 days. So that can inspire confidence in how your funnel progresses. So I'm going to click save on our 30-day money back guarantee. Now, the next part is where we define our pages. So when you're setting up a product, this is one of the sort of counterintuitive things about Kartra, is that when you are setting up a product, you actually need to set your pages beforehand. Okay, now you don't have to do anything with the pages. You just put some dummy content, grab one of the template sections, drop it on the page, leave it there. That's all you need to do at this point. But you need to have the page in place. So I have 2 pages set up. They're just called test page, no site in particular, and they are called test and test thank you. Now, I'm going to save the product page. So this is the product page, the page that the product will be displayed upon. Next, we have the thank you page. You'll notice that there are 2 thank you pages here. Why? Because we've two price points. So the more price points you put on, the more thank you pages that you will use. Now, the question is, do you use 1 thank you page or do you use 2? And that comes down to your marketing strategy. That comes down to your advertising strategy. That comes down to your data strategy. Okay, so I am going to use just 1 page here for this. And this is a very original page called Test Thank You. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. I selected the site and then we go Test Thank You. And then on the second page, I'm going to, again, no site in particular, and I'm going to go to Test Thank You. Okay, so now we have 2 pages set up, but why would you have 2 different thank you pages? The answer is, if you're running Facebook ads and you have the Facebook pixel installed in your Kartra account, you may want the Facebook conversion API code to reside on the thank you page. And if you have 2 different price points, you don't want to be reporting back a $100 sale when you just got a $10 monthly subscription. Yeah, you may be running an offer to split test pages. You may be running offers to a variety of different pages, but you will want the data to be fed back to wherever it may be. You might be running Google ads and you want to look at the conversion. What is the value of the conversion? You want to see, is your funnel working? So in that instance, you may actually have 2 or more different thank you pages depending upon how many price points you have for your product. So that's why you would specify 2. We will move on. And what I'm showing you now is the sort of nuances around the product setup when you have more than 1 price point, rather than doing a second video about multiple price points, sort of wasting time. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, share it with your friends, paste it into social media. It would really help. This is a somewhat new channel and I'm looking to grow it over time. So next we're going to click onto our checkout section. So first of all, we've got our options here on the checkout look and feel. So we've got a Kartra hosted checkout page, an overlay pop-up window on your site. So if you click it, it will show you what it is. And then you've got the embedded Kartra checkout form on a custom page. So depending upon your level of expertise, probably the hosted checkout page is going to be fine. My preference is to look at the pop-up, and I'll show you this. Well, let's stick with the hosted checkout page and I'll show you the overlay pop-up window in a few moments as well. So we click save. Next, we can upload our default header logo. So that will be your company logo. That's a simple upload, nothing really difficult there. The logo will be a horizontal logo. The Kartra Help Desk icon in the checkout page. So if you've configured your Kartra Help Desk, you can display an icon down on the checkout page. You can show the icon and you can select which icon you want to use. And this will display as seen in the image here. And you have a number of different colors, etc., that you can go through. And this will change that down here, as you can see. Or if you want to have a person, and there are a number of different options that can appear. Why would we use the help desk? Obviously to help people if they're struggling. If somebody's going through the checkout process and there's confusion, there's a question, it's as easy to capture them into the help desk at this point rather than lose them from the sales process. So I'm just going to say no to this for a moment, but you can see how it will be used. Next, we're going to look at checkout form fields. So the checkout form fields, these are first name, last name, email, address, city, postcode. These are your basic requirements. But you might have a particular requirement for a field that is not in the standard list. Okay, so you might want to add in phone number, for example. Okay, company. You might want to add those, or you may want to create a custom field. I'll do custom fields in a separate tutorial video because there's a little bit more to them, and it's a very powerful aspect of Kartra, but I'll come back to that in a separate video. But you can customize the fields that you're going to have available for your product. Now, if you're selling a physical product or even possibly a digital product, depending upon your business model, you may want to have product quantity available. So you can select a product quantity and you can let the user choose more than one unit. And you can look at the minimum and the maximum amount that a user can purchase. So if your product is a digital membership product or a digital video product or something like that, you're probably going to just select this. But if you're selling consultancy products and you're selling hours, you may want to have this available. So you might want to set this to be 1.99, that's fine, or 9,999, that will also be fine. So you can select these options here within the product setup. So this one, I'm just going to say there is no quantities. Excuse me. Now we have the option of express checkout versus one-click confirmation. So the one-click confirmation is a cut-down version of the full checkout experience. Okay, dependent upon your business model, and this will be dependent upon how your market responds to your offer, because you might want to run a split test on this. Split test I'm going to cover in a separate video. You might want to run a split test to 2 product pages, both containing, or 2 checkout pages, but one containing the full experience, one containing the minimal experience, and see which one actually works the best for your customers. And testing is a huge part of setting up any online business. So never rush with your testing, do it thoroughly, make sure everything is right before you go live. Cart abandonment tagging, this is the next one. And this is an important one, and we'll actually go through this. So I'm going to tag somebody if they leave. So what is cart abandonment tagging? Well, cart abandonment means they abandon their cart, and tagging means we add a label to them, to that lead, so that we can carry out some action at a later point. Okay, so we have a way of identifying. We have a lead, but now we know that they tried to check out, but they weren't successful. They got distracted, something happened, but they didn't. They had that buyer intent, they were looking to purchase, but they didn't complete the checkout process. So we're going to tag them if they leave. Okay, so now in this case, we're going to create a new tag. So our new tag is called test abandoned. Okay, we can put in a description and we can categorize that should we wish. I'm just going to say no category for the moment, and we're going to create. Now, what we have here is the option of price points. Because we have multiple price points, we have the option of multiple tags to the price point. So remember, with the thank you pages, we have the option of multiple pages. So now we have a multiple price point tag that we can add. We have a price point 1, which is our $10. And we're going to say no category in particular, and we're just going to say test abandoned. And then we are going to say price point 2, no category in particular, and we are going to use test abandoned. There we go. So now, why would we use 3 different tags dependent upon the preceding action? So if it was a test abandoned $10, test abandoned monthly, test abandoned whatever, okay, we can have the multiple, we can have the monthly, and we can have the initial payment. There's 3 different tags, and we can take that person on a journey further within Kartra based upon that tagging action. Okay, so I'm going to save that for the moment. We're going to keep this fairly straightforward at the moment. We can do this in a more advanced training at a later point. Terms and conditions. If you have terms and conditions that you require them to agree, the best thing, if your terms and conditions are short, you can add them here. But if they're very long, you're better adding a link to the terms and conditions. And again, each price point can have their own specific terms and conditions. Okay, so again, this will give you a lot of control over the checkout process, making sure that your terms and conditions are met for each particular price point. Now we've got the next option, which is bump offers. So what is a bump offer? A bump offer is an additional product that is relevant to the primary product that the customer is checking out with, that will add value to the customer related to that product. So they're not two different products. It could be that you have a video tutorial is your main product, and you might sell the audio MP3 as part of the checkout process. So there's a direct relationship between them. It might be a book and you sell the audio. It might be a book and you sell the video. It might, so it's a little piece that's going to bump that value of the order during the checkout process. So I'm just going to say, yes, we're going to activate the bump. And now what we have is the option to activate the bump. So now when we have another product, we would have to add another product as part of the bump. We would add the product in here, and we would give them the option of upgrading their product, upgrading their order, and this is how it would appear on screen. And we can do this for both of those price points. And you can have two different products as bumps based upon the price point that you've chosen earlier on. So do two different bumps on the checkout experience. So you would add those here. A key point to note here is when it comes to bumps is Kartra records both of them as two different sales. So you will have your primary product as a Kartra order number, and your bump will have a different order number. It will go through with the same transaction, but it will actually be recorded as two separate orders within Kartra. And I think the logic for that is that should a person maybe want to refund the bump, that you can do that separately without affecting the overall order. So again, I'm going to say no to the bump, but I hope you're getting an understanding of how we would use a bump in setting up a product, in setting up a funnel, in setting up a business. So we just need to save our checkout fields. Now we are going to go on to post sale. So if you look at this tab, first of all, this is our checkout. So that's why our abandoned cart tagging happens at the checkout, because it hasn't happened post sale. The next screen is post sale. And post sale is somebody has actually bought something. So now we're going to add them to a list. And we again have two lists here that we can choose from. So I'm going to create a new list. And then here is a very interesting thing, is this public description is important, because if somebody has purchased a product, one or more products from you, they may be on one or more lists. You may be marketing to those lists, and somebody might not want to be on that list anymore. And they may want to unsubscribe from the list. So if I just put in Vinny's list, and I do that for every one of my products and all the lists, and somebody wants to unsubscribe from 3 or 4 products, and they're all called Vinny's list, they're not going to understand. So what you could have is called, Vinny's, and the name of the product. So it's the test product. And then our name of our list is going to be test product purchased. Okay. And we're going to call this $10. Okay. I'm going to differentiate our list here. Okay. And we're going to call this $10. And we're going to click create. So now we've created a list here for our $10 product. We're going to then create a second list, and we're going to call it monthly. Okay. So Vinny's test product monthly. So now you have a way of differentiating between two lists. There is another thing you can do here, is you can add a person to multiple lists at this point. How would we use that? Is we would use that as a way to create maybe a general mailing list that we can send our email blasts to, that somebody could unsubscribe from, or we can send our emails just to the list who bought the $10 or just to the list who have bought the monthly product. So it gives you more flexibility in and around how you communicate with your customers. Next, we're going to look at our tagging. So I'm going to change this tag, and we're going to create a new tag. Now, I'm a firm believer in an expression. I prefer to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I want to make sure that everything I need is available to me. So I'm just going to do this as a monthly, and I'm going to say no category in particular for this. Often for purchases, I would create a purchase tag, or sorry, a purchase category, and I would drop the tags in there just to make it easier to access them at a later point. And I'm going to know, so this one is monthly, so I know that this is price point 2. Okay, so I'm going to add that, and it'll appear now in price point 2. But I'm going to create a new tag here, and I'm going to call that $10. Monthly. Okay. Well, let me put the dollar sign in. That's okay. We just need to understand what it is that we are assigning to that customer. So now this is at price point 1, and we add that and we click save. Next, we will define how this customer is going to access the product. So if it's a Kartra membership, you're going to grant access to that membership, and you're going to grant access to the particular access level within the membership. Another training video, I'm going to look at Kartra memberships and access levels, but that's the basic principle. Membership, access level. Integrated membership, such as Optimized Member, that's where you will connect your customer to, grant them access to it. A downloadable file, membership, that could also be Kajabi. You could connect Kajabi there as well. Downloadable file, if you have a download, this is where you would select that file for download, or if there's no product that they have to access, you can just select no access page. Now, this is one of the parts that I thoroughly love within Kartra, and these are the advanced automations. And I want to show you something here that's really important. So make sure you watch this part. So when you have a customer who has come through the checkout experience, but they haven't completed the checkout, they've got the cart abandonment tag, they've been added, and they could have been added to a sequence, an abandoned cart sequence. But let's say that sequence sends them back to the checkout process and they actually make the purchase. What do we want to do? Well, the first thing we want to do is make sure that they don't get any more emails from that abandoned cart sequence. Why? Because they purchased. And if you have 4 emails in your abandoned cart sequence and the person comes in, gets email 1, and then comes rushing back and says, yeah, I really meant to purchase that product, and they complete the product purchase, and then they get another 3 emails to say, hey, Vinny, you missed out on buying that product. You're missing out on a great product. You're missing blah, 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 blah. That doesn't look good. So now we create a new automation. And that automation says that when the customer buys a product, and we're going to call this test, and then we're going to call our funnel is test, and our price point is any price point, or price point 1 or price point 2. So you can select that when they buy, dependent upon whether or not you have 2 abandoned cart sequences. So if you have a separate abandoned cart sequence that is for your $10 and a separate for your monthly, then you may want to run this by using the price points individually, because they may link to specific sequences. But you can also just say buys the product at any point, and then what we're going to do is we're going to unassign the tag, no category in particular, and it was the test product abandoned. So now we're going to remove that tag. Okay, so now that tag is removed, and if you have a sequence, what you would do is unsubscribe from that sequence. So you would select here the sequence and you would unsubscribe them immediately. And now you know that when you have a customer who is coming through, they go through the abandoned cart product sequence, you create an automation that sends them into the abandoned cart sequence. They get that email, they come back, they make the purchase. You now know that once that purchase is made, they're not getting any more of those emails, and you move them further through your funnel. Now you may want to add another automation. And that automation here may be that when customer buys this product, you may want to add them to a sequence. What sort of sequence would that be? Well, that would be a nurture sequence. So this will be an opportunity for you to show your gratitude and appreciation to your customer for purchasing your product. It is not advisable to do an upsell immediately after somebody has bought. Okay, I had a company that I had some video software that I bought, really good software, really happy with it. And within a couple of days, I got an email say, hey Vinny, thanks for buying our software. We have this amazing training that you're going to get amazing value from. Please jump on this Zoom call, this webinar. And I was really excited, looking forward to jumping on the webinar. And what were they doing? They were selling me another product. I had only given them a number of hundreds of euro, and they were immediately selling me a product. But it wasn't a product I could use. It was a product that was very similar to the product I just bought. So that premature effort to sale undermined the value that my relationship with that customer had, or with that vendor had. And I've told many of my clients that story, and I say, slow down. Use, if you're going to add an automation here to add somebody to a sequence, use it as an opportunity to build a relationship with the person. Check in with them, show appreciation, thank them for making the purchase. Ask them, can I help you in any way? Offer them a support call, offer them a one-to-one call, offer them whatever you can to build that relationship and solidify that relationship. But this is where you do it within the automation. So now we move on, and you have the option then of setting up an affiliate program should you wish. So within the affiliate program, what you have is an initial charge. So we're looking again at price points here. So we've $1 for 30 days, and then we have $10 monthly, right? So the $1 for 30 days, and then it's the $100 payment. And then we have the initial charge. So you can offer a percentage on the initial charge, or you can offer a sales commission on the actual $100 sale. Okay, so you can define what they are. You have two aspects to the affiliate program within Kartra. You have an affiliate and a joint venture broker. So what is the difference? So an affiliate is somebody who wants to promote your products, and you're going to reward them with a commission. A joint venture broker is also an affiliate, but they're an affiliate who recruits other affiliates on your behalf. So you may have an affiliate who is attracted to your product, is in a network or a group of other affiliates. It could be a Facebook group, it could be whatever, Discord group, Telegram group, God knows what group. But they may say, hey, I found this really hot product, I think you guys should promote it. So they grab their affiliate, their JV broker link, and they share that to that group. All of those people can join your affiliate program, and when a sale is made, the affiliate gets a commission and the JV broker gets a commission. So everybody wins and you win. So if you're going to use affiliate marketing as part of your sales strategy, Kartra has everything built in there for you. So it's really, really powerful. And you can configure, again, your different price points here. Okay, so I'm just going to say that there is no affiliate program set here. We move on, and then the final stage is to grab your tracking code. So this tracking code is really important. This is used to associate the product to the page, to the feeding of data back into Kartra. So what I want to do now is I'm going to grab that code and I'm going to pop it here on this page. Have a great cup of tea. Taking just a moment. And now I'm just going to put these into tracking codes into settings. Now you can see an error on page because this was a test product that I deleted a little earlier. So I'm just playing around with test pages, etc. Okay, so I'm going to delete this section. When this saves, so now we've got our tracking code here. And I'm just going to delete all of this section. I'm just going to add in a new checkout and I'll show you what we can do. So now we have the option of going over here into sections, and we have our checkout forms here. So now you can pick a pre-built checkout form and you can just drag that over onto the page. Okay, so I have a second section down here. We're just going to delete that. Now this is not a tutorial on design. This is a walkthrough on functionality. So at the moment I'm in column view, so that's giving me all of these purple and blue rectangles. So I want to go back to my component view. So you can configure and edit all of this information here. You can make this as pretty as you like. You can change colors, change styles. You can do what you like on the page. But over here, we have our placeholder, our checkout placeholder. So this is where we actually configure the product. Here we select our product funnel. And here we select the product itself. Now we select the price point. So now we have multiple price points, price point 1, price point 2. Now, let's do multiple price points first of all. And then we have traditional checkout and we have a two-step checkout. Okay, so I'm going to apply that here. Now, a little earlier on, I mentioned about a pop-up window. So I'm going to add in, just to save your time and my time, I'm going to add in another little piece of information down here. I'm going to add in a column. I'm just going to add a small column here. There we go. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a button in here. Now I just grab the first button we see. There we go. Come on. Okay, so now within this button, we can actually pop a checkout with this button. Okay, so I'm just going to center that button here, and we can set the sizes, etc. But what we want to do now is we're going to pop a product checkout, and we can pop that product checkout here. So we've got our test, our funnel, our product, and then we're going to select our price point. So here's our $1 trial followed by $100, and we're going to pop that here. And I'm just going to clone this here now, and I'm going to do the same again here, but I'm going to change the price point now to be our $10 monthly. So now we can have our second price point, okay? And we have the option of the overlay checkout form. Okay, so let's pop that here, and we're going to say it's the traditional checkout. So what's the difference between traditional and the two-step checkout? Well, the traditional checkout is going to show the customer the product information first, followed by entering their details. The two-step checkout is going to take their details first and then bring them to the payment. There's a distinct difference in how you would use those. If you are capturing the payment details with the two-step checkout, not the payment details, the customer details with the two-step checkout, you're sure that that person is going to get tagged as abandoned should they abandon. Same pretty much with the traditional, but it's assuming that you've got some form of preceding information about that customer, that you know their name, you know their email address. And if they've never been in your database, they've never opened an email, on the note of email, so let's say you were sending somebody into this funnel from a Kartra email and are an existing Kartra user, obviously because they're getting your email. Kartra has amazing tracking code being built into the links within the email, so that will then associate that user's information through to the checkout page. So in the traditional checkout, if they are being fed in from a Kartra asset that's been deployed and they've clicked, they're passing a lot of data through, and you'll get that automated cart abandonment tagging. However, if they're coming from a Facebook ad and they've never been in your system before, Kartra doesn't know that information. So in the case of a traditional checkout, it's highly likely that nothing is going to happen. You're not going to get that abandoned cart tagging. Therefore, using the two-step checkout will give you a greater opportunity to remarket to that person at a later point. It's entirely up to yourselves, but you got to understand what the nuances are around that. So I'm just going to save that, and I'm just going to go back to this pop-up window here, and I am going to just mark that as a two-step as well. So overlay pop-up, and I'm going to mark it as a two-step. Actually, we'll show you the difference here. So we've traditional and two-step in this example. So next I'm going to publish this page, and we're going to publish that page live, and then we're going to go and have a quick look at it. So there we go. Let's go. So now here's my product name. Our checkout is loading here. And now we've got our test one-time payment. So this brings us back to our description, etc. And we've now, because we've selected the multi-price point, we have a choice for our customers to make. So you can go, hey, I'm going to do a one-time payment, or I'm going to do a 10 monthly recurring payment. And that's entirely up to the customer at this point. So you can present it in this way, and a bump offer would appear here as well. So this will present options for your customer. However, sometimes options are not the best idea. When a customer has to think too much, maybe it can cause confusion and they can't make a decision, and that's maybe not the ideal scenario. So part of your strategy will be to define this and to figure out what it is works best with your customers. Next, we're just going to have a look at this first button. So this is our pop-up here. So this is an overlay pop-up, and it's now loading the checkout experience here. So now we have the product, and we have then the customer information. This one, we have the customer information, and then we have the product. So there is a difference between the two opposites, okay? So you can see there that there is a difference. Now, I'm going to go back here to our product, because I said I'd show you something. And don't forget to like, comment, share if you're enjoying this video. It really would help. So let's go back to our products. And let's go and edit our test product. And now, well, we're just going to have to click through a couple of screens. Just checking the time, we're 40 minutes into this. Kartra is a big system, and there's I could go deeper into all of this, but for the vast majority of you watching this, this is going to be sufficient to help you get that product set up. So now we go back to our checkout. Now we want to look at our hosted checkout. So if we want to change the colors on the button here, so let's say we're going to change our, well, we'll just go with that one. And we click save. Let's look at our page here. Oh, it's a slightly different color. Let's change this to, let's see if we, something very distinctly different. Let's just go with orange. Oh, I may have to just click save and next, and then we just go back one. And by the way, when you're working on a product, you don't have to go through to the very end to save all your changes. You can save what you need, save the section, and then you can exit. Oh, this isn't working. Let's play with it down here. Okay, so this pop-up. Let's go again and change this to overlay pop-up window, and I am going to change that color to be this color. You're very limited as to changing the colors within the Kartra checkout, as you can see. It's a very limited palette. Now we can see that has changed. So you can play around with those settings yourself. For more advanced users, you can certainly look at the custom checkout experience, but it is for more advanced users. So that basically brings us to the end of how to set up a product within Kartra. I hope you found it somewhat helpful. If you have enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be releasing a lot more videos around Kartra and how to get the most from it. Simply designed to help you to understand Kartra in a better way, help your business to become successful, help your business to become more successful, and give you the autonomy and the knowledge to really get the most from Kartra, because it's an incredibly powerful system. It's really great, the best system that I know as a complete all-in-one system. So again, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and see you on the next video.